The devotion that demands you erase yourself in the name of love is not a testament to passion, but a symptom of the generational silence that taught women their worth was measured in sacrifice, and true intimacy requires not dying for another, but living loudly enough to dismantle the myth that martyrdom is the highest form of care. In Die For Me, Shirlene Obuobi delivers a contemporary literary novel that transforms the toxic romance trope into a searing exploration of Black womanhood and relational sovereignty, proving that in lineages shaped by survival, liberation isn't found in perfect partnership, it's forged in the radical act of choosing self-preservation when culture romanticizes your depletion. This isn't merely another angsty tale of doomed love, it's a psychologically precise narrative where every vow feels like both sacrament and sentence. Consent to stay is negotiated through mutual recognition rather than assumed obligation, and healing means honoring the woman beneath the girlfriend role when desire demands she remain invisible. From the first humid Atlanta narration, listeners are immersed in a world where affection is currency and presence is the only unbreakable boundary. Perfect for fans of emotionally intelligent literary fiction and stories where female agency defies romanticized suffering, this audiobook serves up atmospheric ache, relentless emotional honesty, and a protagonist whose journey from devoted partner to sovereign self resonates with anyone who's ever been told their love was too much or never enough. When physician Elara Vance returns to Atlanta after her fiancé's sudden death, she expects grief-stricken closure, not to discover his passing mirrors the exact pattern of emotional erasure she's endured beneath years of performative caregiving, and the quiet skepticism of his best friend Julian Thorne bypasses her polished mourning to create space for a reckoning that defies familial expectation. But as she navigates funeral rituals and buried truths, Elara realizes this loss isn't about absence, it's about integration. Obuobi masterfully avoids reducing Elara to tragic widow or Julian to convenient rebound. Instead, she crafts a narrative where bereavement becomes therapeutic framework, where consent is renegotiated through acknowledgement of complicity rather than assumed innocence, and where freedom requires seeing the relationship's architecture before it consumes you. The audiobook narration amplifies this psychological vertigo, capturing Elara's disciplined composure fracturing into fierce clarity, while secondary voices shift subtly between performative sympathy and hidden agenda, making every condolence feel like both comfort and cross-examination. You don't just hear her grieve, you feel the seismic shift of a woman learning that some loves can only be honored when you stop letting them define your right to exist. What elevates Die For Me beyond typical literary romance fare is its nuanced portrayal of Black love as collaborative excavation rather than romanticized endurance. Elara isn't merely processing loss, she's confronting how respectability politics taught her to equate worth with availability, challenging the notion that safety requires emotional detachment. Julian doesn't save her through charm, he creates sanctuary where her contradictions can exist without diminishment, honoring her autonomy even as his own loyalty to the deceased crumbles. Their relationship evolves through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silences during late-night porch vigils that bypass performance, establishing rhythms that protect both communal integrity and psychological safety, and defending each other from relatives who mistake evolution for betrayal. Supporting characters add vital texture, fellow mourners whose grief encodes suppressed rage, elders whose wisdom carries intergenerational weight, even Atlanta itself, rendered as living archive whose red clay absorbs centuries of unspoken bargains. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In economies built on extraction, tenderness is technique, and presence is the only sustainable resource. Even the narrative mechanics serve thematic depth, with eulogies mirroring emotional attunement and memorial rituals becoming metaphors for earned trust. For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive sensory descent into sacred reckoning. The narrator embodies Elara and Julian with remarkable distinction. Elara's voice carries steel wrapped in dawning softness, while Julian's low timbre trembles with suppressed conviction beneath disciplined cadence, making their chemistry palpable even during conflict. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming immersion. Distant church bells marking temporal rhythm, rain against screened porches during vulnerable confessions, the hushed rustle of mourning clothes syncing with breath during moments of revelation, all anchor existential stakes in tangible reality. Pacing mirrors the cadence of grief work, deliberate during reflection and alliance building, then surging with urgency as external pressures collide with internal awakenings. Whether you're commuting through urban chaos or sitting in twilight solitude, the audiobook creates a portable sanctuary where slowness feels sacred and embodiment feels lifeline. It's storytelling as somatic validation, transforming passive listening into active participation in a journey where healing isn't found in forgetting, but in reclaiming. Ultimately, Die For Me redefines contemporary literary fiction by centering Black female epistemology within relational frameworks. It satisfies genre cravings for intense chemistry and cathartic resolution, while delivering substantive commentary on respectability politics, masculine vulnerability, and the radical act of building partnerships based on mutual recognition rather than rescue. No prior series knowledge is needed. It stands confidently as a complete emotional odyssey. If you've ever wondered whether love can coexist with selfhood, or if true strength requires embracing what others sanitize, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful act is simply refusing to die for anyone. Press play, light the candle, and prepare to believe that even in landscapes shaped by loss, hearts still find ways to live. Your next favorite literary novel isn't waiting in flawless devotion, it's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to honor your whole self.